Welcome to episode 180. Right, plenty episode in. Welcome to episode 180 of the Corey Shepherd Podcast. Welcome back to everybody who's been listening. Welcome to all the new listeners. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and do all the things that you're supposed to do and all the apps that you're supposed to app on, right? Here, what's going on? For all who used to listen or listening on Google Podcasts is coming to an end soon. So I encourage you to try Spotify. And if you're in Trinidad, it's free and it's downloadable and it's easy. You go find me on YouTube and all them nice things too. And let me tell you something. I come in begging mode. I come cap in hand, right? For all the people who listen only, please go to the YouTube and just press play and press like. And for all the people who just watch only, please find one of the podcast apps and download, right? Here we're going on this week, right? I realize news cycle's slow. At least it's slow for me. None of the things that I like to talk about and I enjoy talking about coming up in the news, so I'm taking advantage of that, right? And I'm taking advantage of that episode, that slow news cycle today. Because about 102 years ago, almost to the date, it have a man who come and shake up the place, right? And we had to pay tribute and dedication to that man. And this song was a warning of what the man come to do late in his career, right? But he could have sing this song from birth.
Sister and me brother, no surrender. Tell the sergeant not to hold me when I start off mutiny. If they beat me for carnival, I go send them to hospital.
His trouble. His trouble. They don't warn me about the 1956 thing, right? So I have a few. Can I play? Because it's telling me it's up to date and up to date and up to date. That's all I hear in these days, right? So can I play songs that are not up to date at all, but people up to date it for themselves and they feel it's up to date and they feel it's new tune, but it's not new tune? Can I play a few of them?
Bernice, don't call me so. I don't like it. I want you know. Bernice,
yes?
Don't call me so. I don't like it. I want you know. When you call me all this sweet name stupidness, then you leave me and you gone. I stop foolish. Well, darling, you will give me misery. Well, hear the sweet name that Bernice calling me. Kid, come go to bed. I have a small comb to scratch your head and do the kitch. Don't make me cry. You know I love you. You're playing shy. Well, when she called me, I took the chance. I went and lied down, but she wanted romance.
Yes.
I said, but darling, I am misled. I thought you called me to scratch me head. She said, but kitschy boy, you playing, you want to hide. You know the reason why I tell you come inside. I say, well, darling, yes, I think I know your aim. But why you continue to call me by this name? Kitsch, come go to bed. I got a small comb to scratch your head. Kitsch, don't make me cry. You know I love you. You playing shy. Believe I'm weary. I can't make the tone.
That was the wrong song, you know, but I couldn't stop it. It's too sweet to stop. Back to what I was saying, right? I want to play some versions of songs all, you know, from this era. We come from long time ago. Let me get it right this time.
Not a qualified physician, and I don't want to give this injection. I am not a qualified physician, and I don't want to give this injection. Dorothy is begging for trouble. She insists I should give her this needle. But darling, one thing I want you know, don't blame me for where the needle go. I push it in, she pull it out, I push it back. She start to shout, Dr. Gage, it's terrible. I can't stand the size of your needle.
I could play a next one, all you feel from nowadays, but from long time. I promise we go start, right? To like Stacy and them so. Come 10 months from February.
In me soul, Carnival, baby. When I hear them pan like a gun insane, Carnival, baby. Carnival blood running in me vein, Carnival, baby.
Happy birthday to the great the Grandmaster Lord Kitchener statue in St. James. Greatness, Reno Rama. have a lineup of Kitchener songs for you today that my personal selection, but a man with a catalog that size, pause, right? It's hard to pick out tunes to play in an episode, without playing music for the whole life. As a matter of fact, if you dedicate 2 hours to music, you're well short of Kitchener catalog. But I've picked out for you a selection of the sweetest of the sweet. I ain't have a pan song selected here, but I have the sweetest of the sweet Kitchener songs in my humble opinion. But Kitchener will be 102 years come April 18th, February, March, April. Now, he was not Carnival, baby, making joke with you, man. But some songs that was popularized by Alison Hines, I think it was Devon Seals who sang the Injection song too. So I just wanted to start with that because, you know what I mean? I don't know. But get ready for 50s, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? The most up-to-date again might be in the 80s today, but that is what it is. Here what I do my last week why I like it. Let me get into the couture and the bacchanal and the cancalang and the lacquerie ones. I don't like what I do. Well, you take my words last week and try to make it look like I against Jamaica. Or I against Jamaica Carnival. All people telling me thing more I say in Jamaica. I not against Jamaica Carnival. I never say Jamaica Carnival wasn't good. I never say it wasn't successful. I never say none of them things. I never say that. Only listen to what I'm saying good. Don't listen with only both ears. Don't listen with the one good ears. You understand? Jamaica Carnival, great. I hope it continues to grow and get better and better and better. But just remember that every museum in the world is an advertisement for the Louvre. So we have the Mecca. I don't care what, no, but I talked to my partner Pablo today, and Pablo in Brazil, and he was telling me about Brazil Carnival and Rio de Janeiro, the greatest show on earth. And Pablo said he agrees. As a carnival man himself, they have the greatest show on earth. But I think we have the greatest party on it. And they send me all kind of video where people say all kind of things about Jamaica Carnival and how it was great and that thing to do. And they swim a dolphin and they get weed to smoke and all these nice things. You know what I mean? Good. Every museum in the world, whether they're making money or not, is advertisement for the Louvre, right? I want you to Google the visitation. So I make some people some bets, right? I call it name. Alim. Jude, Marsha, all the people who believe that Jamaica Carnival continuing to get better and better, which I also believe. I only believe that one day our carnival will be dead and gone and we'll have no carnival. We'll go back to, what they call it, thing, Tambu Bamboo and them kind of thing when Jamaica take it over fully. I want all you to give me the metric. Give me the metric. I give in all you. I'm buying a bottle of whatever all you want. On whichever day you could show me where Jamaica Carnival bypass Trinidad Carnival, you use the metric. I don't care if you use visitation. I don't care if you use revenue. And you tell me the metric and I will pay it out. I just want to remind you that I saw an article that was, I felt very proud as a carnival baby myself to see an article saying that Jamaica Carnival would have grossed, was it $5 billion in earnings? $5 billion in estimated earnings. I'm going to read here from Caribbean National Weekly. This year's Jamaica Carnival, which culminated on April 7th, is said to be one of the most lucrative carnival seasons in Jamaica, according to the Ministry of Tourism. So this is the biggest one yet, right? According to Delano Syverite, a senior strategist in the ministry, early estimates indicate a surge in interest and earnings from Jamaica Carnival compared to previous years. In 2023, Jamaica Carnival estimated to have contributed $4.6 billion to the Jamaican economy, stemming from a multitude of sources, including tourism spending. I want to listen to what's happening here, right? Because I don't want nobody come back to tell me nothing. Because I'm quoting the $5 billion figure, and I'm hearing people messaging me and calling me to argue that the $5 billion is not the whole thing, because when people they go buy gizzarda and they go buy bulla and they go buy bun and cheese, and listen to what it is they counted: tourism spending, merchandise sales, corporate sponsorships, and the rapidly increasing market for all carnival related services. So they count they all encompassing in their figure for $5 billion. I want to let you know too that they're going to count every dollar that they could point to being a tourist dollar. That is what they're going to count. And they will count every visitor who come in during the carnival season. Every visitor. They're not, this is the Ministry of Tourism talking, huh? When we talking about culture here, we have a Ministry of Culture. When we talking about carnival, we have a Ministry of Culture that's addressing these things, or NCC or TUCO or bodies that, them talking about the Ministry of Tourism, which lends to my argument last week that Carnival for them is just an extension of their tourist season. The peak season, they're trying to extend it, which makes perfect sense. And I don't want to come across like I against this in any way. I find it's a great idea. That is what our country should do. I also find it's a great idea that the marshals, bungees, destras, fairs, what do you name, Mecaltasia, the Travis World, the Voice, the whoever is partner with Sun Nation or whatever promoters we have here. Salute my guy Carver who's do Silent Morning over there. The promoters and the artists and everybody from here should go and promote Jamaica Carnival, because every museum in the world is an advertisement for the Louvre. It's just what it is. So the bigger Jamaica Carnival get is the bigger Trinidad and Tobago Carnival will get, because Jamaica Carnival grew from 4.6 billion to 5 billion. Let me continue reading, right? In 2023, Jamaica Carnival was estimated to, I read already. With a higher spend for this year, Cyberite forecasted the revenue to soar as much as 5 billion. The flow through effect in the economy is significant, especially for the micro and small tourism enterprises and also micro and small enterprises altogether. Because every taxi man, every vendor, every jerk chicken man, they're making their money too. He's counting all this. I don't want to call me to tell me now they go only count, but this is not money was spent on costume and money was spent on rum, right? This is money spent throughout, from resorts to jerk chicken man, right? Beyond direct spending, the growing popularity of the event has triggered increased demand across various support industries, which include air and ground transport, accommodation, gastronomy. Gastronomy is food or gastronomy is food. Craft, merchant sales, job creation, entertainer services, vendor sales, and event production essentials such as sound, DJ, decor, bars, rentals, food, and staffing. I like that. 50,000, a whopping. Let me not laugh because again, I'm not laughing. I hope Jamaica Carnival reach 500,000, but 50,000 participants for Jamaica Carnival 2024. I want to know, okay, so if this is what are you using? What's the metric all you using right now to tell me that it's going to take over Trinidad Carnival? Is it conjecture? Is it that just the way you feel, or it makes sense? Like the argument I keep hearing is that the flight's easier to get from the States. It's cheaper to get the flights from the States. It's cheaper to get a hotel. This is somebody sent me a video on this, with a woman saying it's easier for her to get tickets to come to the country and cheaper. And she's saying not because they have a carnival in the country, they magically inflate the prices of the thing. As if Trinidad is magically inflate. Trinidad not magically inflating the prices of nothing for carnival. Price is based on demand and supply. It has always been, it will always be. Other interfering factors try to, like it's a price ceiling and price floors and all them kind of thing that people try to put in place. Them thing don't work. Them thing don't work. We go talk about that next day. It have nothing, the government ought not to try and put up a cap on fat ticket prices, or let demand and supply determine who could get the goods and services. Price floor, if you want to put a price ceiling on something, maybe they should look at that for some essentials, like water and electricity and them kind of thing. If need be, they don't even work in cases like those. But if it's based on demand and supply, and we have a event where we don't even have enough rooms in the country for people to come in. We don't, and I'm saying that we should continue to build our capacity. I'm not saying we should stand by, or we will stand by and watch. I think the room stock in Trinidad and Tobago will continue to increase over time as the demand for rooms increases over time. The issue we have here is that we have such a high peak season and such a big fall off that if you look at Tobago as an example, right, the average person in Tobago is make a little space home by them to rent out, which is something you don't find the average Trinidadian household doing. So when you look at where the average household could put out, let me say I have a room, I live in St. James, I have a room and I have some extra rooms I could rent out for the carnival. I could make that into a more long-standing thing if we have more festivals, or we have more things attracting tourists year round. So you have the benefit of living in St. James, so you rent out your place whole year. That don't really happen. So what you find is that room rental during the carnival period is go up as much as $500 and $600 a night. And I'm not saying the price is not high or whatever you want to say is ridiculous or whatever, but the issue is that for as long as there's demand and short supply, they're going to have upward pressure on prices, just what it is. So to think that there's some kind of price gouging on, the market is correct that, even if you have a year where there's a case like they say it was for this year, it will correct it. And some people, there will be some fallout. Some people will say, you know what, let me not, let me do play a part in this. Let me do play a part in this. I will go Barbados or I will go Grenada. And again, I want to keep Barbados and Grenada and St. Vincent, with all due respect to the countries who have a homegrown carnival born out of their culture. There's a difference. I just don't want Jamaica Carnival, which again I will say is just a slice or a copy of the most commercial aspects of our carnival. I want to later go and Google for me, right? How much? Them say they had 50,000 participated in carnival in carnival in Jamaica. I want to tell you that in 2024, 50,000 people fly in here for carnival. The exact figure I see is 65,000. We have more people flying in here for carnival than them have who participate in the carnival as a whole. I want to say their carnival is 1 week. We carnival is about 2 months. I want to be careful, especially those of us who living down here and being a part of our culture and our carnival. Don't join these foreign Yankees and these overseas Yankees and them kind of things. Don't join them in this argument. They arguing something separate. Carnival for them, they start on Marshall Monday and it is ending Tobago with Dwight York Saturday. Them fellas and them have a condensed carnival due to their own choice, because they choose to live abroad and don't live here, and they choose to go in a country where you could only get 2 days vacation and I say walk out that, and you understand? Don't join them in their argument. And them is a big part of the reason why the price is inflated for that carnival week and the week the carnival packages themselves, and the week before that, which is where all them fets happening. Those people who fly in, with all due respect to them, and we're grateful that they fly in, and them think that is what inflating the price of carnival, because until you have that week, the prices of fets outside of a few, which we could choose to go or not go, is standard pricing to go any event in this country. My mother messaged me and tell me about Calypso Rose, a tribute to Calypso Rose. Salute to the great Calypso Rose. I want to say the price I see for the thing is about $350 or $450 or something. I say money has paid to go soca or whatever it is. And that is a higher end. What do you want to call it? High end? We'll just call it expensive. That is a more expensive fit compared to the others. So I just want to understand for the people who in the bottle challenge, right? Just tell me now. Tell me what kind of bottle all you want up front. And I want Ole to tell me what Ole using to measure, outgrow, and outperform. Is it revenue? Is it visitors? Is it home people from here participating in this? Is it number of events? Is it total number of events? Because I try all how to find out exactly how much events Jamaica had for their carnival. And I want to tell you that whatever the amount is, it will be dwarfed. They have singular individual promoters who have more fit for the carnival season than the entire Jamaica Carnival. So to Jamaica and the carnival, right? But I'm not seeing it and only seeing something me and no. So I'm leaving this as an open, not even my bet, because I don't want nothing in return. I just want Ole. I want 2 things from Ole, a matter of fact, from the Judes and the Als and the Marsha and so on. I just want to join me in Jamaica Carnival a year. We fit and have a time, you know what I mean? Because at some point I will be going back. I had my experience there and it was not what it is today. But as it continues to grow, I want to go back. So if I start to reach the age, I don't reach the age where I can't see. If you don't talk to me hard, I don't know who I'm talking to at this point in time. But if I reach the age where I'm starting to see my hearing starting to go and I'm walking like a cripple and them kind of thing, all you please asking all you, come Jamaica Carnival with me. Take all your loss, right? Take all your loss at that point in time. When you see you talking to me and I can't really to hear what you're saying, let we go Jamaica Carnival together. You can't go wrong with that deal. So, anyway, before again, because it's Lord Kitchener's birthday, 102nd birthday, and I just want to let you know this too, right? Lord Kitchener, a man who move and live in Jamaica to promote this same carnival that we have a problem with now. You know what I mean? Man, 102 years ago, the man born now, 1922. And he went to Jamaica to promote this same carnival, and we having a problem now with the youths. This man paved the way for the youths and cut track for them to run. And not him alone, along with several Calypsonians, and I want you to remember that when you're talking, many people in the UK talking about this Windrush generation. The Windrush generation is a whole bunch of people who would have come over, and Jamaica was where they board from, if I remember right, from on the boat, right? Kitchener was on that boat. When all of them was getting classed as Jamaicans at the time. But then people come from all over the Caribbean to go there. So that's, and I'm not continuing this argument on Jamaica Carnival. I don't want to go over and over and over. You know my position, I know all you. I just want you line up all yourself to come and take a fet with me in Jamaica Carnival, right? I have another Kitchener to play, and I have a few, some of my sweetest Kitchener songs lined up for the episode. And this song is a song that you're bound to like. I love it. And I want you to take in some of these songs, right? They're not going to be able to stop, right? So I want to tell for the people who so my boy Ryan Ramchandani say the music, Ryan is about 3 minutes and 17 seconds long, right? So if you want to skip for all the people who don't like the music, I want to skip it. Skip about 3 minutes, because this is not this kind of song that you could stop in the middle. But even if you feel to skip it, there's the kind of thing you want to listen to and hear how lyrical geniuses is put song together.
A bounce up Grenadian mail last week Saturday. A bounce up Grenadian mail last week Saturday. Well, I try a trick on she to get she in me bachi. Can't catch myself yet. What she didn't tell me is what she forget. Who must be think Grenadian a fool? Who must be think we not go to school? Who must be think because we come here we starving in Grenada today? I gonna tell you Trinidadian, among you can't fool we Grenadian. Back a ground, money a hand if you fancy this Grenadian. She start getting hot and start to prop her like a parrot. You Trinidad men, you like women but don't like to spend. Well, I'm going to make it clear, I don't give in who I am. So I hope you know, I got no time if you got no dough. Who must be think Grenadian a fool? Who must be think we not go to school? Who must be think because we come here we starving in Grenada today?
You damn lie.
I gonna tell you Trinidadian, the days for the gun with Grenadian. Back a ground, money a hand if you fancy this Grenadian.
When you say back a ground money a hand, what do you mean?
Well, I start to plead to see what effect it's gonna take on she. I said, darling, this is true. I am madly in love with you. She put she hand akimbo and watch me from head to toe. Man, you talking crap. I can't take love in the Chinese shop. Who must be think Grenadian a fool? Who must be think we not go to school? Who must be think because we come here we starving in Grenada today? You damn lie. I gonna tell you Trinidadian, among you careful we Grenadian. Back a ground, money a hand if you fancy this Grenadian. So I promise she, I gon' give she half of my salary. It ain't long to wait, I get paid on the 28th. She said by the time the grass growing, you don't know the horse starving. It's in a good day, give me a ring when you get your pay. Who must be think Grenadian a fool? Who must be think we not go to school? Who must be think because we come here we starving in Grenada today? You damn lie, I gon' tell you Trinidadian, among you careful we Grenadian. Back a ground, money a hand if you fancy this Grenadian.
That's this guy, so tight. Story from beginning to end. Salute and happy birthday to the great Lord Kitchener. We still in Jamaica a little bit, you know. We halfway in Jamaica and we halfway out of Jamaica, because I saw this week Mr. King, Ice Sasha, Ziggy Rankin, and King David come together for a collaboration. I'm missing anybody though? They come together for a collaboration, and I think is a much needed collaboration in the country, because if you're following the news, the amount of crime and the types of brutal crime, like just before I started recording here, right, I see a video talking about some could it have been in a Remo? Yeah, I don't want to call it the wrong place, but I was just scrolling through Instagram and I saw them showing robbery in a Remo, and I see the two fellas walking down the road. I ain't seeing nobody. It's just a woman sitting in the corner, boy. The man come to snatch something from the woman and hit the one, bap, bap. And I think to myself, but, you know, I don't like this thing when they say empty the clip, and I don't think that's what Trinidad and Tobago need to come to in any way, but I understand the sentiment when I see videos like that, because some of these videos really is anger, you know, is upset you, because this is somebody who just sit down there, they have the thing. Sometimes you're watching crime and they're saying who involved in what, and that can happen to you and you're ignoring it. Like this thing where some fellas walk up to a woman car, shoot up the woman dead. When they haven't wait for the woman, they come and kill the brother-in-law. The assumption, and when you read the comments and thing, or you talk to people, you find that people saying basically, hey, here what's going on. You have to be involved in something for something like that to happen. Okay, if you want to assume that, all right. But for you to just have something where you work hard for, you don't know, people don't know what you do to get your things. According to Kitchener, you ain't know if I put my back a ground and get money in hand. You know what I do to get my little one or two things I have. And I have it, and you could just come and take it and snatch it from me and walk away with no redress, no mask again, and they don't bother with that something again. So we in a state where, as much as I don't like the empty the clip thing, some of them things is upset you and make you see that. So all talk and no action. But some fellas come together and take some action to put together a song. Mr. King David, Ice Asher, Ziggy Rankin come together. What used to be called back in the days the Reggae All-Stars. You know what I mean? Salute to the Reggae All-Stars. And them fellas come together and put together a song. I want to get a slice out to the song, but just let me get a slice out to the song first, right? So you could understand where they're coming from.
Do something about this thing, you know. Somebody have to bring back the balance, you know, eh? Yo, Sash.
Okay, what go on, buddy?
You ain't see the way the streets in Trinbago I get bloody.
Shots now ringing out here, dog. My daughter trying to study, and on news before news, it's 2 more dead bodies.
Things are heading downhill, I like it, don't intend to stop. Now my son no shot to come back if I send him to the shop.
There was another pandemic, how the bodies them a drop, cause every other get a youth shop.
For real. Sometimes I feel like the new music bring badness back in style. Place full of fully done man, woman and child.
I wonder if it's cause the people them now hear us for a while. The whole country I get filed, but we fed up on the boom, fed up on the bang, fed up on the warrings, fed up on the gangs, fed up on the violence. Time it fi stop. Time fi bring the country back.
Fed up on the boom, fed up on the bang, fed up on the warring, fed up on the gangs, fed up on the violence. Time it fi stop. Time fi bring the country back. Hey, you see the news last night, Sash?
King man a ball.
Hold on, I feel like I didn't see it till the call.
Voila!
See, what go on, brothers? Well, I see 2 great ones calling me. To what do I owe the honors?
Ziggy boy, we trying to reach them, use them on the corners.
Them who giving up the ghost, calling themselves what kind of numbers?
No use them in the streets, belly balling out for younger. Till somebody asks them, what team you rocking under?
And them youths lost, and they started when they small.
All the much vibe, that dog. That King David trying to call. Yo, David.
Go far right when me know true, but Bridge, you know, telling me shots busting up by you.
Dan, and up to now, me need a single siren. Yo, switch the video, they Anna call with Ziggy and King.
Serious?
Oh, brother.
It's like a meeting call to order.
Oh, David, nah man, we just happen to link each other.
Well, I don't feel that this just happen. I think now is the time for us to free the youth, them mind. Cause we fed up on the boom, fed up on the bang, fed up on the warring, fed up on the gangs, fed up on the violence. Time it fist up.
Time to take the country back. We fed up on the boom, we fed up on the bang, fed up on the crime, fed up on the gang. I want to salute them. I think Prophet Benjamin come in there too. Am I forgetting Prophet Benjamin? I think they bring Prophet Benjamin in the end of the song too, which is always good to see these brothers and see they're doing good. And some of them, if you remember, have some of the best messages in music that we had in the days of Reggae All-Stars. Now, when I listen to this song, it's a good song. They really come good and they come together. And I hope that they get a movement in a gear again because it's important. But one of the things I was wondering about this song, right, is how much it could relate to the youth who they're trying to talk to. I was wondering if they make an effort. Maybe they did. But it would be so nice to see some of these younger youths now on a song like this with them. But I was salute my barber and all was telling me that even that mightn't be, it's nice wishful thinking, is because if you take these same artists and you put one of these youths now who's 6, 7, 9 or above or whatever number they have, and they were to come on a song like that and say fed up of this and fed up of that, and that could put themselves in danger because the music turning well, I mean, my argument was let music play and leave music uncensored and them thing. But as much as you're singing about your reality and the reality is brutal in them spaces that they're in, maybe it's too much for them if they come on the song like that, then men looking for them and them kind of thing. But it would be nice to see some of these young fellas now come together, and maybe this is a way to open the door, because they should be seeing people like Ziggy and Prophet Benjamin, Mr. King, King David, Sasha. The youths now should be seeing them as some sort of a like mentors or legend or OG or whatever you call them now. So hopefully it reached the rightful audience. But it pick up real tempo with the absolute wrong audience, which is we, because we not going out and do that kind of crime, and we already against crime. But I think the song do a good job to capture the sentiment of people like us, where we the country too sweet to be running like this. And I did see they went and perform over the weekend. They had a One Love concert where Warrior King, Louis Culture, Bushman, Glenn Washington, among some others, and the local reggae all stars went out and performed there too. And yeah, I was looking at that as my parallel with Jamaica Carnival, right? Sorry, I know I said I'm done with that argument, but it's almost like saying one day Mr. King and Ziggy and them gonna be bigger than Bob Marley, and I don't know. We will never fix our mouth to say nothing like that, but we fix it with mouth with ease to say that Jamaica Carnival gonna take over Trinidad. Which life? Line up your bottles, right? But I saw some of the veteran artists in concert last Saturday, and like when you look at our market for reggae, like even from as early as Bob Marley days, you find that a lot of the foundation reggae artists or dancehall or any genre of Jamaican music, a lot of them would say Trinidad is the first country they travel to do big shows, or even the smaller reggae artists or dancehall artists who never really toured the world or get big hits. They say they find real success in Trinidad. When Trinidad love you, they love you. And Louis Culture and Bushman and Glenn Washington and Warrior King, them is men well loved in Trinidad and Tobago. So salute to them with the One Love concert. I saw that was good. When only make thing, only come in and do thing for people we aid. So only put these things in Napa now, man. Time for these shows to go to Napa. These is legacy acts now. We want them in Napa where we could sit down comfortable and watch the show. I can't do it. I can't go and stand up for so long. But I did see that, I believe on the 1st of June as well, they have another big show with Steel Pulse, Collie Buds, Supercat, I guess, headlining that show. And it seems as though all these artists are on a tour throughout the Caribbean, because I feeling like I saw Supercat freestyling in Grenada over the course of the last week or so. So salute to the reggae artists, and I think that it more important than the discussion or the debate about who Carnival better and who, because I make and you see, this is why I don't like to put clips up, because I tried to put up some clips this week and try to be productive, you know what I mean? I ain't put nothing on TikTok or Instagram any longer. I'm gonna try to get better at that, right? But when I saw one of the clips about Jamaica Carnival last week, I somebody assuming how to be Jamaican put in the comments saying basically, carry that back to Carnival, to Trinidad. There's a Trinidad thing, only keep that, or that had no rights in Jamaica. And this is exactly the point I was trying to make last week. You know, I was trying to say that, hey, this is not a what they enjoy in there and what they have there is useless comparing it. I think more of what we need is just how Jamaican artists find that Trinidad is fertile ground for their young artists, because they have several artists who say, you know, Cartel get booked by Bring Sean Storm in Trinidad. John Storm says it's the first time he ever come to Trinidad, just using that as an example, right? First place he ever traveled to was Trinidad. There's fertile ground for them. Them could have 6, 7 of them big shows here during the course of the year. And this is the old people show. When you look at Supercats and things, that's old people who go in that. But even the youths, when they bring the younger, if they bring YG Marley here now, he sell out the whole stadium or wherever is the biggest venue we have. That's good. We need that. I think the Caribbean need that. So we could also create the same space in Jamaica where our artists and our younger artists or anybody, establish the younger, the older, could go there, do shows, get 30, 40,000 people, get access to bigger markets, right? One of these days, I promise you all is something. But somebody got to hold me accountable, because I might forget. You know. I want to tell all of this, right? I know this is 40 minutes into the thing, and I now realize the camera wasn't recording. I would like to apologize up front. I'm not a young man. I'm not a young man. The camera wasn't recording all the time. So we here. Welcome to episode, you know what I mean? thanks for hanging around. It's poor form. But where was I? Yeah, I'm talking about Jamaica. Jamaica being fertile ground for our artists to go and build a trade. So let that carnival get as big as it gets. Every museum in the world is an ad for the Louvre. I want to quote Marlene Augustine. Salute to Marlene, who say in the comments last week, she was saying Jamaica Carnival is a nice party weekend or a getaway for Caribbean people and Jamaicans living in New York and London and so on who have gotten accustomed to soca music. I couldn't put it better myself. That's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. It's not the same. It's not the same. And maybe it's useless comparing the two. And what we should really do is enjoy both of them for what they are. We should try to get to Jamaica Carnival to enjoy all the carnivals across the region so that we could continue to build capacity outside of the 1.2 or 1.3 million. Oh, sorry, I was going to say that I'm promising you all I'll do an episode talking about the issue we have with having a very small market. You see, when you come from a country that only have 1.3 million people, there are certain things that it is extremely limiting. Extremely limiting. I was listening to my boy Jade was talking about Ghana and talking about how much millions of people in Ghana, how much hundreds of millions right next door in Nigeria. And small manufacturers or distributors or retailers there would be considered huge when you compare them to our biggest manufacturers, distributors, and retailers. So it's important for businesses in the country to look abroad. It is important. We cannot have anything homegrown that we try to squeeze and keep homegrown and make sure that it is not going to work. We need to build things and ensure that those things can be exported and we could benefit from a global market of 7 billion people, rather than trying to focus on how to make 1.3 million people spend more and more. But anyway, I really come to play some kitsch and to salute and celebrate the anniversary of the life of the great Lord Kitchen. I have a next anniversary to celebrate this weekend to my Uncle Porgy and Auntie Therese. They're married for 102 years too. So don't be easy, you know. And I have a tune to play now. The tune is for Uncle Porgy and Auntie Therese, right? It's for both of them, right? But Uncle Porgy is the handiest man I know, so it's only fitting that I play a tune like this. I don't know where Auntie Therese fitting in the song. It's not me say so, it's Kitchener say so.
A calypso lady fan employ me as a handyman.
Yes.
A calypso lady fan employ me as a handyman. She say, Kitch, I hope you could turn around good and serve me as you really should. I say, Madam, is it serve you say? Well, you get your bed with me night and day, because I'm a handyman in the morning, handyman in the night. Madam, I'm a handyman anytime I see walk, handyman round the clock. One night, about 12 o'clock, just so I decide to do some work. So I run and I get me broom, and I cleaning out the madam room. She say, Kitch, what you doing to me? I say, Madam, I only making myself handy. I know you don't like being interrupted, but it's a long time your room ain't get a brush up. Madam, I'm a handyman in the morning, I'm a handyman in the night. Handyman anytime I see walk, handyman round the clock. She say, Kitch, I don't think it's right. Tell me, why you like to walk at night? I say, Madam, you see when the weather cool, it's easier to use me tool. She say, but Kitch, you can't see to do it neat. I say, Madam, I don't have to see to eat. And for the time I using this broom, I could shut me eye and clean out your room. Madam, I'm a handyman in the morning, I'm a handyman in the night. Handyman, anytime I see walk, handyman round the clock. She continue, she sleeping, I continue me sweeping. I hurry to finish me task, so I sweeping and I brushing fast. She jump out of sleep, Kitch, I cannot rest. I feel something crawling under me night dress. I say, Madam, don't worry to fret, the broom slip under the coverlet. Madam, I'm a handyman in the morning, I'm a handyman in the night. Handyman, anytime I see walk, handyman round the clock.
On to Miss Parisot-Potter, right? We take the time last week and we salute to the great Warner, right? Warner's exit. So Warner out, Massy. And Massy finished the reports. All the independent investigators, the work done and so on. And I mean, as predicted. As predicted. This was only going to go one way. I mean, at the end of the day, when you see our publicly traded company, you have to sort all these things quick and get us out to the way. Don't let your share price be affected and continue to do business as normal. Too big to fail, right? From Asha Javid from The Guardian, Massy. Parisot-Potter wanted $100 million to exit the company. She damn right. $100 million. Pay more off, let me keep quiet, you know what I mean? Let me see what goes with this thing. The overwhelming majority of allegations contained in the 13-page document submitted by its former Executive Vice President of Business Integrity and General Counsel, Angelique Parisot-Potter. I just get this woman name wrong consistently, you know. Angelique Parisot-Potter have not been made out. That's the conclusion of the 3-month probe done. Oh, that's 3 months already. That was the conclusion of the 3-month probe done by attorneys Kerwin Garcia and Vishma Jaising. Parisot-Potter did not participate in the investigation because she refused to sign a requested non-disclosure agreement. Okay. That speaks volumes, right? If she did not want to participate and refused to sign an NDA, it means that she's going to have a lot more to say about this as time goes on. I suppose you have to be careful, and she probably advised, because you're always exposed to litigation if you say the wrong thing or anything that libelous. But look for more TED Talk and book and so on coming out from Miss Parisot-Potter, right? That she's free. She's free. Unencumbered by NDAs. However, apart from the 13-page letter, she did submit a further written and audio evidence through her attorneys to the team. Interestingly, despite wanting an NDA during the investigation, the Massy board decided to publish Garcia's 2-page executive summary in the interest of transparency in the newspaper advertisement today. Massy said it would also review its company's governance systems, in particular the bonus system for executives. The report revealed that Massy was restructuring its operations and that Parisot-Potter's job as a group counsel was made redundant last year. As a result, she was in negotiations to exit the company for £11.8 million sterling, as well as a seat on Massy's board. Seat on Massy's board. You was negotiating a seat on the board. I suppose if you're negotiating, you could go on the seat of the board to make change, right? So use blacklight training instead. It said in 2019, Massy decided to reorganize its operations in accordance with the portfolio model, which resulted in irreconcilable differences between Parisot-Potter and the company. Those differences were a major factor in the deterioration of the employment relationship between Massy and Mrs. Parisot-Potter. Following the emergence of those differences, Mrs. Parisot-Potter voluntarily entered into negotiations on the terms of her separation package for her voluntary exit from the company. The parties agreed to enter into mediation on the terms of her separation package. Her statement was submitted to facilitate consideration of that proposal. The executive said that Parisot-Potter's letter to Massy was made on November 12, 2023. In an exclusive interview with the Sunday Guardian published on January 7th, she claimed that no one had responded to her 13-page letter. The chairman responded saying, I can tell you that the 13-page document is taken very seriously. Well, we cover that, right? They come and they say they take it seriously. She say, if you take it seriously, how come nobody respond? They say, well, they was looking into it and so on. And it's ended up in, the situation in the end is that neither Gervais Warner nor Angelique Parisot-Potter will move forward with Massy. They're both home. I didn't think she get 100 million, and I want to say that at least from all the different articles that I read today, let me be careful not to be libelous neither, but it seems as though, it's alleged though, yeah, I didn't say it. It looked as though the focus of at least the summary of this seems to have been that nothing was wrong with the training at executive level and so on. It's pretty standard across the board for executives to be on this kind of training. And Parisot-Potter ain't get 100 million, and the 11.8 million pounds, which is the 100 million, seems to like they're trying to say that this is the reason for all this, right? We don't want to get you 100 million, so you ain't taking that. Parisot-Potter said the 11.8 is utter rubbish, misleading extrapolation of issues. Responding to the Sunday Guardian yesterday, she said, well, that's what she said. She said, I have not been privy to the report, so of course I can't comment. I would be interested to understand the statement of the allegations that the allegations are unfounded. Is Massy referring to the 9 concerns I actually raised, or the more than 100 allegations Massy stated I raised? So is it none of more than 100, or is it none of the 9? So that battle continues. I suppose that will continue to play out in the public space. And I don't know who is the winner in this at the end. I suppose Massy is a strong enough share where these things, I try to monitor the share price from the time this thing came out to now, and Massy share price doing what it's do, the profitability of the company unfounded, or at least from a consumer and boots on the ground. You stopping, like I go into Massy stores by normal, I don't think it's affecting Massy day-to-day business, and it's probably not enough of a scandal or issue or anything like that at that level to affect man on the ground and shareholders who would be monitoring it, because if you have significant shareholdings or any kind of shareholdings in Massy, you don't want to be in a position where you're losing out. At least you could sell at the highest point and get out before the hammer fall. But nobody does seem to be bothered by this. I think that's the end of that. Gervais Warner going on. I think we had to wait now to see who will be named the new CEO of Massy and who is going to usher Massy into this new era. And we go watch and see if this still going back Delphi and them thing. But I mean, above my pay grade as always. I really come here to play Kaiso, you know. I'm putting this story to bed until we see a new CEO appointed at Massy, right? But in the meantime, I want to give you a next tune what they find new, but it's real old, and you know what I mean? This is foundation music that people take and make into brand new foundation music.
From me, the first on me mind is them Brooklyn girls, how they treat me kind. Brooklyn woman, I will always understand. Brooklyn woman, they could get me wedding band. I will always love them, but they love the bacchanal. You don't get no problem when you have a Brooklyn girl. Rock me, kitschy, rock me, kitschy, rock me, kitschy, rock me. Rock me, kitschy, rock me.
rock me, Kichi, rock me, Kichi, rock me.
Couple days later, who you think of me? Miss Clementina from Montgomery Street. She said, Kitchy boy, why you have to roll? We don't do things so. Let me take you home. Brooklyn woman, I will always understand. Brooklyn, oh Lord, they couldn't get me wedding band. I will always love them,
But they love the bacchanal.
you don't get no problem.
When you have a Brooklyn girl, rock me, Kichi, rock me, Kichi, rock me, Kichi, rock me, Kichi, rock me.
Rock me, Kichi, rock me, Kichi, rock me. 102. Good innings. Forever music. You see what forever music is? I've been monitoring something here, right? As we always on this crime situation and we can't escape it no matter what we do in this country. Crime is the hot topic and always an issue, right? But I saw a headline from CNC3 saying AI integrated into Trinidad and Tobago police service training curriculum. Feeling like they could have started like basic manners and morning and evening. But all right, so we start with AI. Okay, the integration of AI into our training curriculum represents a crucial step towards modernizing law enforcement practices in Trinidad and Tobago. By equipping our officers with the necessary knowledge and skills, we'll stay ahead of evolving challenges and ensure a safer, more secure future for all. This from Commissioner of Police Earl Christopher Hayward Christopher, as she commented on the recent integration of artificial intelligence into the TTPS training curriculum. The Commissioner of Police added this initiative aligns with the strategic goals outlined in the TTPS Operating Plan 2024, specifically focusing on information and communications technology, and underscores the organization's commitment to leveraging technology for enhanced law enforcement practices. Under the framework of the TTPS Police Academy 2021-2024, strategic/operational plan, the targeted AI training has been incorporated into the academic agenda, providing officers with the essential skills and knowledge to navigate the evolving landscape of law enforcement. 2 interactive training sessions have been successfully conducted, focusing on different aspects of AI implementation. They gave me some insights into it. Let's say training session 1, Introduction to Using Generative Artificial Intelligence, was held on March 20th. This session delved into fundamental AI concepts focusing on the utilization of generative AI language learning models. Participants explored potential criminal applications and the AI and engaging practices. Well, they didn't give me details on exactly what is generative AI language learning models. But session 2 is an introduction into artificial intelligence for law enforcement, took place on March 29th with an attentive audience of over 150 trainees. So I don't know exactly what they're going through, like how AI going to be used to solve crime. I believe that a part of the issue we have here, right? I mean, artificial intelligence and is I was going to say the way of the future or the wave of the future, but we're in it right now, right? The use of artificial intelligence is impressive. Like, I'm not sure if people use ChatGPT and stuff. Well, I should pretty much say for sure that people use ChatGPT a lot here, right? And I've mentioned a few times that with the podcast host, I use Buzzsprout. When I upload the podcast, it gives me a description of what I talk about. The description, pretty decent. It saved me some time, because then I don't have to go and write all the description from scratch. Because the truth is, when I done it, I can't remember what I talk about. I just had to write down what I talk about so I could go back and write a description about it. But the way I use the AI, right, or things like ChatGPT, is almost like you have a personal assistant. So if I have something to talk about, or a presentation to do, or a proposal to do, I just kind of put that information in ChatGPT and tell it, hey, I have about 10 minutes to do a presentation. Tell me what I should do here. Like, do the slides for me. Give me 5 bullet points per slide, our 5 slides, and tell me exactly. And then when I get that, I could use that to do the presentation. I'm probably not going to take exactly what ChatGPT gave me. I'll probably edit that down. So, well, all right, I could say this here, I could say this first, I could say this. I don't want to talk about this song and redundant and repetitive. So I'm not saying it perfect, but it saves you a lot of time. I'll give you an next example, right? Like I doing courses now since 2010. And right now I have a master's class going on in digital marketing. So they're relevant to when we doing digital marketing, we get to spend some more time talking about artificial intelligence, right? And if I have slides to do, let me say I have a class to present on, and I need to get the course material and all that with the references, and it's at the point already where I could go to ChatGPT and say, listen, I don't go and have a lecture to do today on marketing promotions. Give me like talking points that could last me 3 hours. I usually talk about 4 minutes a slide. Give me a presentation that could last about 3 hours on marketing promotions and digital nature and how we always switch from traditional media to new media and social media and so on. And it's pretty solid there. I will get all my Harvard style referencing right there. And then instead of me sitting, when I first started lecturing, I had class on a Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. I reach home from work about 4 or 5 o'clock, whatever time I reach home from work, I relax a little bit until, like we say, I start from 7 o'clock to prepare for that class the next day. It's at times where I stay from 7 till 4 or 5 the next morning, just preparing slides, making sure I have everything together, know what I want to talk about. Because if I go and talk about, let me say marketing promotions, right? When you talk about, it's a thing that's called the communications mix in marketing, where it's advertising, sales, promotions, PR, personal selling, direct marketing, and all those things is like a wheel, right? I could go and I could talk about that from the top of my head now because I just do it so many times. But back in the day when I had to do that, I had to go and read up on each one of these things, make sure I know what is the difference between it, to have some little talking points, prepare my examples and things. Now, I mean, after about 15 years or whatever it is past, some of the examples come from the top of my head. But you get where I'm coming from is whole night I doing that. The thing now is that when I put that same information now, I asking that almost like I have a personal assistant. I say, come up with some slides for me now. When they give me it back now, I can edit and say, all right, move this from here, put this so, give me a diagram here. I'll spend a little more time talking about that. And put me in a position now where, number one, I could sleep the night before, come more refreshed for the class the next morning. But it covers the bases in a way that I would never be able to cover it, because even though, I mean, I have a degree in that and I could go back and read the information, but I tired or sleepy, sometimes I'm browsing through the thing. This is in seconds, thoroughly going through the material, probably all of it that is available online, and pulling what it is I need. And it's not far from the truth. It is very, very, very useful. So I want to say, whatever application or whatever kind of job you have or anything that you need a lot of your man hours, consider using that for knowledge work and thing. You cannot go wrong. You can't go wrong. It's giving you a real good start. I had a debate with some fellas recently where they said that what happens to the ability to think, right? So our generation, we used to think and analyze and do critical analysis and so on. I mean, that's true, but I don't know how beneficial it was, and I don't know how much of what we was doing was actually thinking. I think that a lot of what we did in our education system, and this is probably everybody who 25 and up, right? A lot of what we do in our education system was learn to read fast, write fast, and regurgitate fast, and remember fast. You know what I mean? Because evidenced by the fact that a lot of the things you learn in school, you didn't just, people like to talk about it, they never use, and they learn this and they learn algebra. Algebra seems to be the first one that has come to mind, because algebra pretty useful. But people say, I do calculus, and everywhere you hear they say, I learned a set of calculus in school and I never use it. Them never learn calculus either. It was just on the curriculum, right? Like me, so. But the truth is that it's not just that we learn things that we didn't use. The reality is that we forget it. If we're not going to use it, or we don't use it often enough, you're going to forget all that stuff anyway. Half a week cram we way all the way from primary school straight through to university. If you know how to cram real good and pass exams, you would have done great in school. You probably have first class honors at bachelor's and master's level and so on. And, you know, I mean, our system is designed to that. And in fairness, our system rewards that, because if you come to the employer with certificate full of bachelors and masters, and you're probably going to command a better salary if you could get a job in the first. The job hard to get, right? But once you get in, you're probably going to command a better salary if you have them documents behind you from a reputable school. But I had a class this is before this master's class now. The class before this was a bachelor's class on the global economy. When we were studying, they used to call it globalization. And then it changed to international business. Now they call it issues in the global economy. All the same course, right? And the students had 2 assignments to submit. One was a blog. So they had to write it like in the form of a blog. Now, if you're listening to this and you was in UE or any university anywhere around the time I was there, you know this is crazy talk compared to what we had to do for assignments, right? The them at that blog must be 2,000 words. And I like to hear students complain about this now. And I say to them, God, we have real work to do. And I draft that. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if you have real work to do. I think in a lot of ways it was made much, much easier because of how they get information now. On campus, I had to go and get 5 and 6 and 7 books. Things not to go and help me borrow book because me not enough book to go and write article for Legay and Hamid Ghani and Dr. B. Sessa and all of them. It's that when you see you have to go and get them books and there are 200 people in our class and the library, I 8 copy of the book. You have to do like physical, real research with books, right? Now everything to this generation, at least most of the people who I lecture, it was at their fingertips. They stay home and do the whole assignment and look through it. And to me, some might argue that our time and the education was better and more robust. Okay, I hear that argument, but the reality is that this batch of students I teach over the last decade, they get to spend less time on trying to look up research, because you know how researchers go, you have to read 20 articles before you find one that's useful for the paper. So what they get to do is spend less time on the look up part, and they find, well, technology was provided for them to look up things fast, and then they could actually spend more time on critical analysis and the things that matter the most in the real world. So I would argue that the students who come out recently under we time with these accelerated degree programs, it takes us 3 years to get a degree or 4 years for somebody who went and study abroad. A bachelor's degree taking a year and 2 years and 3 years now. And yes, you might argue that we have a lot of theoretical, but how much that theoretical knowledge worth? The theoretical knowledge is easily findable because now it's indexed all over the place. So our brain cluttered with a whole set of theory that you could just Google and find. Everything Zachary asks me, I say, boy, just Google it. And I always tell her, my mother used to make me do that. Like, every time I ask her the meaning of a word, she say, you would swear she spent $100,000. She said, spend a set of money on a dictionary. I wouldn't use a dictionary, which helped me a lot in terms of just your own curiosity and stuff. But there's nothing today that they need to memorize any theory for. They do not have to memorize any formulas for any mathematical subject or anything like that. They don't have to memorize any treatment of any accounting transaction. Just Google it. They don't have to use what is called a chi-squared and what is it called them kind of table we used to use. They don't need to do any of that. I sit down with a partner and work there. They salute to Kern. This is years ago, a matter of fact. When we have a study to do for a client, and we need to work out the methodology, and sampling methods come into play where how much people, I want all you to remember, all who study SPSS, and what the next snake one name? Python or whatever all them thing is. Remember we used to go in a lab to learn something called Minitab? Minitab. You don't know what it have on Minitab up to today, you're confused. But them things have their purpose. Them things have their purpose, and we learn it. And I'm not saying the knowledge we use was wasted. I just think these youths now have an opportunity to accelerate learning in a way, because we learn a lot of things that is personal assistant work, with all due respect. You know, I mean, I was telling you that you just Google the sample size. We say, well, we have a survey to do for XYZ. You put that in ChatGPT now, it go and set up the whole study for you. You know, you don't have to worry about that again. So imagine this. Imagine us coming up with a proposal and have to do the methodology, because we had to tell you how we're going to get all the information from, or what you want to find out, right? Imagine we sit down and work out our whole methodology, and this is what we do. You as a client now, when you get at, assuming you're hiring a research company because you don't have the research capacity on board, right? You don't need to go and figure that out yourself and learn no certain thing. And the well, I shouldn't say youth. We all have access to this now where we don't even have to go and cross-reference, not nobody do. You could put the whole proposal in ChatGPT and say, hey, this is why I'm trying to find out. Rate this proposal for me. So I always talk about the idea of us looking at our jobs and trying to assess whether the job we're doing today will still be here in years to come because of things like ChatGPT and artificial intelligence and so on is important. So I commend the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service for making the investment to at least expose people to AI. My fear is that we are not a big data collection country or society. I don't think we pay a whole lot of attention to data collection and making sure that we have accurate and up-to-date data that is sanitized and useful. I don't think we make data available at all. I was looking at over the course of last week, there was a real estate conference or fair in the Hilton last week. My bunch of keys, I believe, was the people who put it on. And I was listening to Jared Best Mitchell. Salute to Jared, who's sales. He's talking about sales, like sales guru online. And he was saying that, and even more than sales, Jared has encouraged a lot of people to create content and build a personal brand and, talk about what it is you do, which is what he does. He does sales and he creates a lot of content around sales. And you're trying to tell like insurance agents or financial advisors and so on, create your content and put yourself out there, increasing your pipeline basically, right? And he made such a good point. He was saying that the mortgage market is so dark. And he said one of the questions that like real estate agents ask him all the time is like, what to do? What more content you want me to put up? And he basically saying like, don't just put up your house for sale or your house for rent. It will get more nothing else. Like, tell people how to get a mortgage. Tell people, okay, what is stamp duties? Like stamp duties, I don't understand what that is exactly. I don't know how to calculate stamp duties. Or you might find that if you're valuing a house, you're doing a valuation might be 2.5% of the price of the house or whatever. I don't know. Help we. Like help you to understand if you're a real estate agent and you're in that space. You could also co-create with your banking people, get a banking person to come on your live or on a video and let them talk about what is this thing and how much money I need to have saved to buy a house worth $1 million and so on. So he was just basically talking about creating value and adding value for yourself. And I just feel like if the opportunity we have with AI is to raise the level of the work that we do so that we make the importance of the work about ourselves and what we bring to the table, which is our unique and whole self, rather than the whole set of work, which is drudgery. But I'm just using that as an example to say there's not a whole lot of data collected in this country, so it's hard. It's a dark area to find out how much houses sell for, how much houses. If you just Google, like, just go in the States and stay by people and think, anybody who went and stay by, like, Google their address. Zillow will tell you how much for that house and when it last sell and how much they pay for it. If you have a friend in the States and they're working and think, just Google the job. Just Google what them is do. Just Google what them is do. And they will tell you what is the exact salary for that position in that company. In this country, you can't find out nobody's salary. You don't know how much. We are not a big data collection community, society. So I wonder how much, what is the use? Like how we applying AI to crime detection, unless it's blue collar crime or white collar crime, where it's digital crime and that type of thing. Like what exactly we doing when it's very, very hard to get information in Trinidad and Tobago in general. But we wait and see. Because, and I'm saying that against the backdrop of the most basic technology failing us here, right? Because webcams, those seem to be, when I say webcams, what is called it, police cams, like the body cams and the dash cams that the police supposed to be using. I'm not sure if they're always in place or they're working or if they're easy to access. It seems as though the footage sporadic at best. Like a lot of times you see crimes happening. And the first question people are asking is like, well, where the body cam footage? What about the traffic light thing where it's supposed to take a flash on your pass? That working? The mailing ticket home for people here is like, we about 25 steps back in where the most basic technology being applied, but Again, salute Ella and them for trying to make a leap forward. You know what I mean? Because I mean, at some point, we had to make a leap in technology if we want to get there. But again, who's me to talk about this? I only know nothing about Kitchener, you know. And this is a Kitchener talking about leap and them kind of thing. Again, one of the sweetest Kitchener tune for me as we celebrate his birthday.
Why and she tell it. Why and she tell it. Old lady walk a mile and a half and she tell it. Old lady walk a mile and a half and she tell it. Boom bam. Why and she tell it. Bada boom bam below. Why and she tell it. Bling bam. Old lady walk a mile and a half and she tell it. Up the hill, down the hill, was Miss Beto there. She was walking the distance to Point Fontaine. Old lady walk a mile and a half, and she telling it. Old lady walk a mile and a half, and she telling it. She left home from Arima at 6:30. When she reached to Aruga, she bazo deep. Old lady walk a mile and a half, and she tell it. Old lady walk a mile and a half, and she tell it. Boom bam, and she tell it. Boom bam, and she tell it. Body blah blah. Old lady walk a mile and a half, and she tell it.
Old lady walk a mile and a half, and she tell it. And she tell it. Just a fun fact, right? If you didn't know, you say up the hill, down the hill when Miss Beto there. You know, it's Holly Beto there, mother or grandmother. He was talking about in that song. And Holly Beto there say he wasn't pleased with that at all. He find Kitchener mama guy. And these two Arima men, you know. Two Arima men boy like one another for years because Kitchener mama guy and the man, mother or grandmother. But Holly say before Holly passed away, too, Holly came out and say, you know, he lived to appreciate the song and appreciate the fact that him and his family and the Bitodia name was immortalized in song by the great Lord Kitchener. So happy birthday to the great one, right? There's something I want to talk about here. 2 articles, right? I'll get through them quickly because it's not the greatest news, but it's something that needs to be said, right? You all would have followed the article or saw the story a couple of weeks ago where in South, I believe it's on Lady Hales Avenue, a soldier walk out in front of a bus, right? Let me give you a quick read here. It says soldier stuck by buses under police guard at hospital. The soldier who reportedly walked into the part of a bus in San Fernando is under police guard at hospital. Investigators said the man allegedly stabbed his ex-girlfriend the previous night, hours before his accident. Eyewitnesses claim the 23-year-old soldier, 23-year-old soldier waited until the PTSD bus approached him on Tuesday to step off the pavement along Lady Hales Avenue and Embarcadero, resulting in the bus colliding with him. He's been treated in San Fernando General Hospital. Officers said a woman who said she was the soldier's ex-girlfriend reported that around 10:30 p.m. on Monday, she was with him in a vehicle heading south along the Solomon Hochoy Highway when they began arguing. The woman told police that when she and the soldier neared the Couva Hospital, he allegedly grabbed a knife and stabbed her repeatedly. He then attempted to turn the vehicle onto the northbound lane. Now, sad story, right? So this story went down more. We first hear somebody get hit by a bus, and then when you hear the bus driver and passengers talk about it, it seemed to be that it was an attempted suicide. And you know, this whole idea, I just want to talk about men for a minute, right? I know that the abuse is wrong. We could put all that out there, right? Domestic violence, we support that, and abuse women. We love women. You know what I mean? The hitting women or getting violent to the women in any way is not something we'll ever condone. But just to spare a minute to talk about the men, right? Because I also saw a similar story this week talking about Khadija Amin, who's an MP under a UNC MP. She won her seat. She had to have won her seat. She I can't remember what the seat is, but in a story that being pieced together, right? The first story on one of the social media blogs was saying who the person is, and the person is allegedly a UNC counselor as well. And they seem to have they have a relationship. They have some kind of relationship, and they try to rekindle things. And she jump back in the car with him, and the car end up in fight. And she had to come out the car and run out thing and run and go to the police station, and that's where it end up and stuff. And like these things seem to be very very as much a part of our culture as Trinidad is this thing with the domestic violence and the issues associated between man and woman. And while we talk about crime a lot, stories like these affect the country just as much as the crime stories, because in the midst of a bloody weekend like we had the weekend before, I believe, where it's a whole lot of crime. In the midst of that, you tend to find that you go have some kind of domestic violence thing, and you always hear this. If it's not violence to the children, it's to the women or within the family, men among the family fighting one another, and it gets into brutality, you know what I mean? Well past words, you know? And it's something that when you're talking to men, right? As men, I think it's underestimated sometimes in our society how much pressure men could be under. Because there's this new world where you could only talk about women and women issues, and anytime you talk about men is mansplaining and all these words that I find to be ridiculous. I don't know. These new age words and these new age people, they're brighter than me, you know, by far. I don't understand them. I try, but I really don't understand these things. The typical or the accepted role of men, or the traditional role of men as the breadwinner and the protector and all those things in the household, according to any religious book, and it seems to be that the religious books have guided us to where we are today, right? Fine position. If you follow the religious books, it took us well. It served us very, very well. Now, the people going to tell you is because we ain't following the book to a T why we here, right? But wherever it is, generations have attempted to follow all these books, and look where we are now, right? But the accepted in a lot of cases role, or the masculine role in society to protect and to earn and to mine basically, and to honor and stuff. I think whether men decide, because I let me put it this way, I kind of comfortable with that role. I prefer myself in that role. I'm not knocking anybody, these new age men who decide that everything must pay for half and half and everything. I'm not knocking them either, but I old school. I prefer to be in a position where I am that typical man, a traditional man, or whatsoever it is, that I cool with that. But I just want to say that is a kind of pressure and a burden to shoulder that's not easy. Because when you're in a position like that in your household, and you are to shoulder whatever it is happening in the house. So whether it is something wrong with the house, something going on, there's something pump blowed, all these things, and you seen as the man now who's supposed to be able to fix things, which I can't fix nothing. You're seen as the protector, where if somebody come up there, I frightened like hell. I walk into Stacy the other day, and a dog just rush out a yard and looking to rush me. Now as a protector, I go in front. But I really go in front to take biting. Me and nothing. I can't stop the dog from doing nothing. What I doing is sacrificing my whole self to make sure she and Zachary good. Which again, I'm not complaining, but I'm like, okay with it. But I just want us to continue to remember and acknowledge how difficult that is a role to play. Because it's not I'm a protector by frightened like hell. I frightened for my own life. I supposed to be the caretaker of the household and thing. I frightened for my work. I frightened for the future. Gas price going up, electricity price going up. All these things is real things that men dealing with. I see all a woman like to post something, and I find it's a very interesting thing that always post, right? All they like to post this thing that is going around that says, me on vacation while my man plan everything, and them just walking through the airport looking and the man, listen, them things and again, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that when you look at and what the soldier do, if you stab your girlfriend and thing, that is not, I'm not in any way condoning that, but I want us to remember and to acknowledge and to address the fact that men are tasked with an enormous burden when it comes to the woman and the children in our society. And then at the same time, men are minimized and minimalized and ostracized in society. In the very media or by the very women and children we trying to work on and protect and make sure that they're good and sacrifice also. I looking to take dog bites. It's not the first time. No. That time we in Cancun, right? And we walked down the strip and we went down a place and we went and take sign by the big Cancun and thing. You know what I mean? Me, Zachary and Stacy. Then I come up with a bright and dotish idea. Rather than walk on the street, I said, look, the beach there, the hotel is down the same street, so let me walk along the beach, right? But with my foolish self, you see, leading people into damnation. Sometimes you're a man who's leader of household and think about damnation, man leading you through. When I walk down the beach now, a part now start to get rocky, it turn into a hike. But we too far to turn back. I said, just Christ, what the hell I put myself in this for? We climb over the rocks and think we going, Zachary's a soldier, we going. Now, we up on a ledge outside somebody's wall, big camera pointing down at my face. I feeling like I'm going to get locked up abroad. I don't like it. But now I seeing the resort where we supposed to go to. If I could just get past here, I seeing like you have to pass through the back of somebody's yard so. And then by the time you do so, boom, and we bust out in the resort, right? Why? When I come off the jail ledge, I feel like an outside remand yard. When I walk past that jail ledge and walk past the cameras and thing, and I look down in the yard we had to walk through. If you see the size of the two Doberman and a little kind of half-white girl playing with his dog, boy, as I make four, it was me and the dog I make four, the Doberman come rushing. A good distance away from him, but I cannot run because we on the jail ledge. So I kind of push back myself now and I tell Stacey and then go back. The only words I could have get out my mouth was go back. Up to now, she didn't see the dog because she can't see it yet. And I just say go back and I lean back on the wall. And I don't make up my mind to take bites again. But here was my plan because I remember the seaside right there. So I don't tell myself, when the dog rush, the dog go jump. It's Doberman. They go jump for my neck. So I say, well, the first one who jump for my neck, I grab in he two front hand. What is called them? Pause. And he in the sea. He had to learn to swim. I taken a big swing out here and throw you out in the sea. I only taken bite from one dog at a time. And she hear me good. So she see me lean back on the wall. She lean back on the wall too. But boy, I shorter words now because afraid dog bad. When I see the Doberman and reach me yet now, I muster all the little bit of courage I have, the little bit, and I peep out. And the little white child now call me, come. I say, which come? The dog, they ain't talking no English, it's heavy Spanish. But she see what happened, the dog back, and she done put away the two dogs already and telling me pass through because I learned subsequently that they have to let people, once you have a seaside property, I guess that's everywhere in the world, you can't stop people from passing through and things. So it would have been problems for them if they get a dog, they attack people and things. But Doberman bite can be easy. Doberman bite can be pleasant and things. But again, as man, I taken all the bites and I rather the dog and them bite me up. I rather let the dog and them send me home and let two of them live. That's me. But you can't have men in like traditionally in that masculine role or want to say that this is the role that men should play. And then at the same time, talk about the same men like they're doing nothing and they're worth nothing and they are no value to you. And it's have 100 different kind of woman day where man have to buy gift. Or you list them out. It is Mother's Day and a birthday and then the Valentine's Day. Where is a constant one-way street where women are valued in society and seen as the beacon of society, which they are. But you can't just expect that you could live like that for decades and centuries. And that men ain't go trip off because the pressure of that is enormous. You're also living in a world where we know, let me talk to the brass tacks, right? We know with all the love and the family life and all the things. You also know that, boy, if you fall on hard times, you could be watching back and nobody there with you, the reality of the thing, I can not say a clap for that. They go and tell you they go rally with you, but they go rally with you in the short run. If you can figure that out, fast, where you earning, especially in this society is more of, today's world is more of making money to get things rather than planting or growing or killing or fishing and them kind of thing, right? So the yesterday man had to learn to do them things, otherwise you're a monkey pants. But today you earn. And if you find yourself not earning and you can't make and the frustration starts to get to you, then the frustration is the fastest I ain't saying all women will do this, but you have men in a position where you could find out he's all kind of waste man and he's all kind of this and that, and then you find out she a man, the man next man earning. There's a lot of pressure, is what I'm saying in a nutshell. And I'm reading this to say this, right? From the Trinidad Guardian by Joshua Simangal, male suicide rising in TNT. This is not a Trinidad phenomenon. This is something that you will see all over the world. Joshua Simangal said there's been a 25% increase in suicides in Trinidad and Tobago over the last 8 years, according to the data from the Ministry of Health. Between 2016 and 19, 371 people took their lives, an average of 93 suicides per year. Comparatively, 2020 to 2023, 478 people died by suicide, an average of 120 a year. 4 out of the 5 suicide victims in Trinidad and Tobago is men, which is higher than the global average of male being twice as likely to die by suicide. Men have accounted for 83% of the self-inflicted deaths in this country since 2020. However, data about the most common motives is not available. Same thing I was saying about data just now, right? So I'm just saying that these are the things. And they went on to say COVID-19 exacerbated these figures because when it came on the scene, there were lots of psychological problems that also came. The isolation, the death of relatives, unemployment, the whole scenario where people question the meaning of life. COVID actors are fuel for a fuel and an accelerant. So yeah, when you look at people who would have lost their job during COVID, who not earning as much, where prices, I mean, we in a world where during that same time, we're talking about prices increasing. So the pressure you under to manage this household and be the protector and the provider and all them things, you find yourself in a place where that is increasingly difficult to do. And a man is a kind of thankless job sometimes, you know. So I'm just using this as an opportunity for us to not forget men in society and the role that they play. And not forget that meme with women on vacation where you just, is a good little parallel for life, you know, because sometimes women just, sorry, yeah, women only listen to this part, but talking to the men. Sometimes you women and them just living, you know. How a song. These women and them just living. They don't know what you're going through. For you to have what you have and for you to live the life where you live. And for, so when you home relaxing, when you don't know what you and your boss went through, you know, and you a woman on your work getting you pressure. You have when you see them, you put a woman and them as the boss, they're bad, you know, they're talking to you all how they may know what you're going through when the day come. Or you're doing manual labor, you're hot and you're sweating and you're going out. And then when you're reaching this half and half world now after you, them coming to tell you, but we ain't do this and you ain't do that and you ain't thing and you ain't loving and all this. Man, I know, but I just sorry. Sorry, I had to take a minute to bat for men, right? Because I really feel sorry to see that situation with that soldier a couple of weeks ago, and then this thing with Khadijah. I mean, and again, I want to make it clear that we're not condoning violence to women in any way, and we never will. But it is important. So when you see your men in your life, and you know, the thing about it is, man, so damn simple. Man, so damn simple. When sometimes a man just wants a little acknowledgement, you know, a little thanks for what you do. I appreciate you being there for me, you know what I mean? Seeing you, seeing the work you're putting in. A man want to hear sometimes, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of the things you're doing and things. Not all this sort of man bash. And I'm talking to these, particularly the younger people, and not all this sort of thing and a man thing and that. We could do it enough of that. But anyway, heavy topic, this call for light song, right? And this is one of my favorite Kitchener songs. I've played. If I had the opportunity to play this every single podcast, I would. It is not one of Kitchener's most popular, but it's certainly one of the sweetest. Hey, and listen to this from the beginning to the end. I don't fast forward this, huh?
Mildred met with disaster, shame to tell the mother. Mildred met with disaster, it happened at Panorama. She left the crowd and went somewhere drinking. Well, some pan thief she belonging. She ran home, she eye full of tears, relating the mother of the affairs. She said, Mommy, I know it ain't right. Don't beat me, Mommy. Oh God, I was feeling tight, darling. I tried to restrain the captain, but he won't take me high. Mama Lucy, Panorama night. gypsy. Then he started moving his finger like an octopus round my shoulder. Down and down, the finger start creeping as though he knew where my purse was hiding. All our struggle, all our plea, he still won't take no notice of me. Mommy, I know it ain't right. Don't beat me, mommy. Oh God, I was feeling tight, darling. I tried to restrain the captain, but he won't take me high. Mama Lucy, panorama night. I can't believe how it happened. For a start, my purse wasn't open. I had my legs crossed together and holding my purse in the center. All at once, something got me frightened. It was despite the hands of the captain. Every time I turned to give him a slap, the purse just vanished out of my lap. Mommy, I know it ain't right. Don't beat me, mommy. Oh God, I was feeling tight, darling. I tried to restrain the captain, but he won't take me high. Mama Lucy, panorama night. If you wouldn't beat me, I will tell the truth of the story. I was only blaming the captain, but it's not the way how it happened. I'm the head of the party, I admit. Mom, it's me who told him to take it. He begged so pitifully, I broke down and gave him a sumini. Mommy, I know it ain't right. Don't beat me, mommy. Oh God, I was feeling tight, darling. I tried to restrain the captain, but he won't take me high. Mama losing panorama night.
Talking about proud of men, I'm proud of these youth men, you know what I mean? Without sounding condescending in the least. Certifiably bad. Ezekiel terrorizes the nation. I want to say I'm proud of Michael Mondesi too. Let me tell people I'm proud of them too. Let me drink from my own juice. I saw Michael Mondesi take the time to do 2 articles back to back. One is about this young fella they call Certified Samson, who is certified by all the youths in this country. If all you don't like Certified Samson, let me tell you something. These youths and them love him. Because I see Zachary, I mean, initially when I see him doing his skits and thing, it was always somebody getting licks. Every time you look, Certified Samson getting licks for something or another. And Zachary and them used to find that hilarious back in the day. And he come full circle and create this character called Ezekiel. If you don't know Ezekiel, check it online, right? It's a little child, character of a child who, Ezekiel is a problem, right? Ezekiel is a problem. Salute to Ezekiel, but more importantly, create a character that the whole nation gone off on. I seen companies using it as part of the marketing plan about Ezekiel and then the ads and them kind of thing, and it's just the whole country, or at least the social part of the country, seem to buy in and biting off a piece of this character Ezekiel to talk about. Ezekiel is a name for any bad little child in Trinidad. And another youth who they have, I believe is Kyle. Well, I only know him as Kyler. Let me make sure I have his full name. Kyle, labeled here as the boss of comedy by Michael Mondesi again. Kyle Mark. And Kyle have a kind of style too online. Again, it's like social media comedians, right? Them men, he have a style where he doing these simple skits. He alone doing these skits. Like if you know Rody, he does skits similar to Rody, where he playing all the characters in his skit. But Kyle have a face there where no matter where it is, you're bound to laugh at some point in time. And salute as well to the great Junior Lee. Because Junior Lee, I don't know where he come out. Me know who he be. But again, there's people you have to find on Instagram and thing if you don't know them. But find these youths because they have a little movement and it bubbling. I see Certified Samson was celebrating 1 million followers the other day. So them fellas doing good and they're growing their platforms online. So salute to them And we're proud of them, right? That's a new thing, right? We're proud of these young men. Can't just talk about the youth who doing this and doing that. We have to talk about the youth who good. I wanna leave all of this week with maybe one of my favorite topics again, because I saw last week Tuco, or was it NCC, having their prize given where Gypsy and Marshall and all the winners during the carnival this season. Snaky come into mind, but the man who I want to talk about is the fellow win the freestyle competition. We sell CDs outside the Trinity Mall. Hey, let me tell you something. I salute to my boy QB too, because QB tell Massy Montel Jordan sing something. I just forget, I'm not a young man, Sometimes I be talking here and I have the right person in my head and I really calling the wrong name. But oh God, I really can't remember his name. It's too late in the night. He used to sell CDs outside the Trinity Mall. So salute to him. I know he won the freestyle competition this year. But they were doing the prize giving ceremony, and within the prize giving ceremony, Randall Mitchell went and announced that the Soca Monarch will be back for 2025. You must know it's an election year, You must know it's an election year. So I read it here from Kevin Feldman in The Guardian. It says, while several soca artists are optimistic about the possible return of international soca monarch competition next year, they want organizers to take a different approach to make the event fairer for competitors and attractive to patrons. On Tuesday, during a prize-giving ceremony by Tuco, Tourism Minister Randall Mitchell said he plans to direct the NCC to release an expression of interest for anyone who wishes to collaborate with the government in organizing a new competition similar to the ISM. Oh, I see. Because I really came here to say, I did not know that International Soca Monarch was a brand owned by the MCC where they could invite collaborators like that, but it's not. They're saying a competition similar to Soca Monarch. So they might have to call that something different, because as far as I understand, International Soca Monarch is a brand owned by a private organization, if I have it right. Ian Bungie Garland Alvarez, who won the competition 4 times, welcomed the return of the competition. I'm sure he did. He said it was a pleasant opportunity when his wife, fellow soca star Fayan Lyons, organized the competition in 2020. Faced with the threat of having no competition, Alvarez took up the challenge and pulled it off in 19 days. Alvarez compared the competition to a heavyweight boxing match and noted that people attend to see high caliber fights. He said no other event allowed soca artists to execute at that level of showmanship. I think that's an important statement, and maybe we need to get Fayan back in charge of it, because I remember when Fayan did it, it wasn't just that it was the last sold-out show or the first sold-out show in a while for them, and a big production and all that, but the artists were also commending how smooth the show was and how good backstage experience was and so on compared to other years. But I think it's an important point you're making here. Soca Monarch is a heavyweight fight. So this whole idea that Soca Monarch is for new artists and a showcase for smaller artists. Maybe it's a payday for smaller artists, but Soca Monarch has to be a heavyweight fight. And in a heavyweight fight like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul or Logan Paul, whichever one of them he fights in, you need the fighters themselves to promote the thing. You need to have a big name. And Muhammad Ali used to tell Foreman he ugly and tell this one he's a dance and he's so them things is part of the promotion. It's not just about the fight. The personalities themselves are to promote it. Weekend before the last, it was WrestleMania. The Undertaker make an appearance. It was about, the personalities in the wrestling and the storyline behind it is always keep these things. WWF and WWE. I watching that since I was my son age. Maybe even long before that, to the point now where I is 102 years past my son age. And them things still around. So I'm glad she say this, because this notion that is for new, if you're only a new artist and young artist and unknown artist, nobody ain't coming out for Soca Monarch and it's not going to have the type of value that it would have. And when you're talking about heavyweight or high caliber fights, the truth is that you're talking about 10 people, All you want me to name all the 10, it's about 10 people in soca who people really want to go and see fight it out against one another. Not saying that the other people can't come in, but when you come in, you're probably going to get boy, you're going to get trampled, you know what I mean? People want to see Marshall go against, who Marshall was singing against the time? It was Bungie, where he make up verse and them kind of things. People want to see that kind of thing. People want to see the biggest people and the most competitive come, and they want to see a little story behind it too. You see if they have a thing where Marshall and Bungie don't like one another, and even if you make it up, that's what people want to see. that Soca Monarch ring was basically a showdown of the best. It was difficult for any newcomer to come into Soca Monarch and get to shine because people who were going to Soca Monarch were not going to Soca Monarch to see any newcomer. They were going to see existing warriors go head on. I like this, Mr. Renzo Adams, a 2020 ISM semi-finalist, said the absence of competition left a void in Carnival. However, he wants changes to the competition, including less favoritism for certain artists and song popularity and leveling of the playing field by stipulating a $50,000 cap on presentation expenditure. No, Renzo. Partially, you want to level the playing field and make it, but also you had to create this story. Not everything had to be true. In branding and building brands, you don't have to be telling the truth. A story could carry the brand. So if it is you create beef between Iowa and Marshall a year, and you carry on that beef through the carnival and the fighting and do whatever the biggest. So that is what people come in to see. What Iowa go say? Where you go flying on now? Where you go do? What bungee go thing? They go grappling down or you just set yourself on fire? What exactly people will do? That is what people come in to see. People come in to see the biggest and the best go. You know what's a fixture of competition in Trinidad and Tobago too? The judges and them thief, and the game marshal. All that is attract the crowd. I always talk about this here, right? Where the Twitter. When you see Soca Monarchs semi-finals and things going on and Twitter come out, I find what they should do with Soca Monarchs, put it back in a Rima, but put in some people there who are no rights in the competition at all. Man who just forget lyrics, who just fall off a stage. Make that as entertaining as possible. Sometimes at the expense of the artist. But you have to know these fellas getting paid again, some recognition again, some face time and building your brand. But you're going there to get licks, it's a beaten stick. So we create the thing. Let Twitter build up the following behind Soca Monarch so that by the time all the heavy hitters run through and now you have a show of 10 people who could put on a production, now people want to go and it's something that they wouldn't want to miss at all. But again, something to pay attention to and to kind of look at over the years or over the next year or so, because as Randall Mitchell did say, he said that he putting it out there early so they could get it planning together early. And I think I like the way Faye and Lion's talking. I like the way she's talking already because she understands what it is needed for the biggest show in Carnival, the biggest show within the biggest show on earth to be a success. And I hope that it come off, you know what I mean? And it's not a brown dog kind of show again. We need to have this. And whatever that Friday night look like, maybe I will go back on my word a little bit here too, to say that maybe it's best that whatever the new name is they come up with here, maybe the government should hold some ownership of that. I know I like to talk private sector thing, but if this is so important to you, to the development of your genre and development of the carnival, and to just make sure, hope to God that we stay bigger than Jamaica Carnival, so I don't buy bottles, because these fellas go call for some kind of bottle they will make you buy, you know. It's absolutely looking to buy for people. But just in case it died down or the person who was running it, you know what I mean, maybe the government hold the franchise and make sure, because it's a pity that we as Trinidadians, forget the government now, the government acting on our behalf, it would be a pity if we cannot use the term Soca Monarch anymore after all the work that went into creating what is the Calypso Monarch, which is a unique name and a unique competition globally. And it will be sad if we can't use the term Soca Monarch again. So I'll leave it all there, you know, but I have a few Kitchener for to play to leave all with, because again, I tell Ole I have the sweetest ones lined up for here, right? And this one particularly sweet.
Yes, I kept my appointment.
Yes.
And enjoy every moment. Certain things I remember that was said by Angela. Darling, I am rather beat. Will you please anoint my feet? Straight away she jumped in bed. As I start, she turned and said, Kitchi, you so sweet.
keep rubbing my feet. I love it so much. Boy, you got the touch, darling. Squeeze me there again.
Yes.
I don't mind the pain, like you did before. Please rub it in once more, I beg you. Darling, don't you stop. I think this pain is moving up. Just started to get an ease. Now it's aching in my knees. So move your hand up to the right. Squeeze me there with all your might. Yes, darling, you're right on spot. The only thing it pains a lot. Kitchi, you so sweet. Keep rubbing my feet. I love it so much. Kid, boy, you got the touch. Darling, squeeze me there again. I don't mind the pain, like you did before. Please, rub it in once more, I beg you. This must be a moving pain. You may think I'm acting sly, but the pain has drifted to my thigh. I reply, even what you say is true. What you expect me to do? Whether you are vexed or pleased, I'm not going past your knees. Kitchi, you so sweet. Keep rubbing my feet. I love you so much. Boy, you got the touch. Darling, squeeze me there again. I don't mind the pain, like you did before. Rub it in once more, I beg you.
You too sweet. 102. Still standing tall in St. James. Still standing tall in music. Still standing tall in Diego Martin in Irama. Should I get I have the sweetest of the sweet lineup, you know. But I'm feeling like if it's difficult to leave a Kitchener episode without certain songs. And disco had to be one of them, right?
Well, they moan and they fuss and they say we won, we fet, and they abuse and they cuss and they say this is a threat. Yes, they damn and they blast and they say we hope it ain't true. They won't dare to cancel, we jump up 1972. Mama, when they hear, they go get the carnival. All masqueraders on heat. Well, they didn't care if it was official, but they start turning peace on the street. And they start to jump around, and they start to tumble down, and they fall down on the ground. If you see how they came. But what was so comical in the midst of Bacchanal? Rain come and wash
wash out Massy Bay.
Even say it's the guns on Monaco, so they won, let we play, and they blaming polio. Who they think they could fool? All we know they better do fast.
Polio, no polio, man, we want we must.
Mama, when they hear, they go get the carnival.
Oi, oi, all masqueraders on here.
Well, they didn't care if it was official,
but they start turning peace on the street,
and they start to jump around, and they start to tumble down, and they fall on the ground. If you see how they care,
But what was so comical? In the midst of Bacchanal, rain come and wash out Massy Bay. Imagine, imagine if it was that year. All now you're now preparing for my 16th of April, you're now starting to organize your costume and them kind of thing. I have a couple more to play for you, I promise only I ain't going no 2-hour episode again, but it's Kitchen on is 102.
a tourist dame. I met her the night she came. Well, she curiously asking about my country. She said, I heard about Bacchanal and the Trinidad Carnival, so I come to jump in the fun, and I want you to tell me how it is done. I said, do
come in town Tuesday morning, find yourself in a van. Watch the way how the native moving, have a tight in a man. Sing along with the tunes they're playing, and now one again you shouting, play Mass Bacchanal, Miss Tourist, that is Carnival.
The following day, we went to Maracas Bay. Every step we walked, she started with this Juve talk. She said, kids, from what I've been told, Carnival is out of this world. Just the thought is worrying my brain. Well, let me hear that lesson again. I said,
come in town Tuesday morning, find yourself in a van. Watch the way how the native moving,
Hug up tight with a man.
sing along with the tunes they're playing, and now one again you shouting, play Mass Bacchanal, Miss Tourist, that is Carnival.
It's a sampling. It's a sampling. It ain't no whole song. It's a sampling. But I'll leave it all over this one. Let's have a productive week. Have a safe week. It's the first full working week in Trinidad since Q1. Jesus Christ. A little better like a holiday, man. 5 days a week. 5 days a working week. I wonder if I'll ever survive after about 15 short week back to 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 back. Well, I could make it through a whole week. Well, I give only 2 hours worth of thing to make it through a whole week. People message me today and tell me, Salute Miguel Swazet. So they tell me, they went and run a whole 10K, and when they're done, I ain't finished talk yet. I tell she prepare for the marathon because we here. Work on your marathon time, and you might get a podcast the last year marathon, but I'm leaving only with this one. Best wishes, wherever it is, all you're pursuing, wherever all you're going after. Have a safe and productive and enjoyable week. And happy birthday to the Grandmaster.
sweeter. You make me scream, you make me bawl, you make me feel like 10 foot tall.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.